Picture this. You finally bought those gorgeous, towering heels you have been eyeing for months. You slip them on, you stand up before the mirror, and you feel like an absolute powerful icon ready to conquer the world. But then, you take your first step. Suddenly, instead of delivering a fierce, effortless runway strut, you realize you are doing this awkward, stiff-legged waddle. Honestly, you look less like Naomi Campbell and more like a deeply confused penguin trying to navigate a freshly polished floor. Trust me, we have all been there. Welcome back to My Life, My Rules, the space where we celebrate every beautiful shade of our queer journeys, share our stories, and help each other level up in life and confidence. If you are new here, grab a cozy seat, because today we are tackling a rite of passage that so many of us in the community face. Whether you are a trans woman stepping into your very first pair of pumps, a drag artist preparing for your debut number, a non-binary royalty wanting to add some height to your look, or just a gay guy who wants to rock a stiletto on a Saturday night, learning to walk in heels is an art form. And like any art form, it takes a little bit of science to get it right. So, let us talk about the dreaded penguin walk. You know exactly what I mean. It is that rigid, clunky stride where your knees are locked completely straight, your feet are slamming down flat, and your upper body is pitched forward like you are walking into a hurricane. It is exhausting, it hurts your lower back, and let us be honest, it kind of ruins the fantasy. But here is the thing. It is not your fault. You are not clumsy. You are just trying to walk in high heels using the exact same muscle memory you use for flat sneakers, and your brain is going into a minor panic mode trying to keep you balanced. When we wear flats, we take long strides, and we do not really have to think about how our foot strikes the ground. But when you elevate your heel 3, 4, or 6 inches off the floor, your entire center of gravity shifts forward. Your brain senses this unnatural angle and instantly thinks, "Oh no, we are falling." To protect you, your body instinctively locks your knees and tenses up your ankles to create stability. Ironically, locking your knees is the exact thing that destroys your balance and gives you that stiff, robotic waddle. So how do we fix it? How do we unlock that smooth, hypnotic, confident stride? It all starts before you even take a single step. Let us start with your posture because your stride actually begins in your core, not your feet. I want you to stand up in your heels right now. Take a deep breath, roll your shoulders up, back, and down and let them relax. Now, imagine there is a golden string attached to the very top of your head, gently pulling you straight up toward the ceiling. Feel your spine lengthen. Next, gently engage your abdominal muscles. You do not need to suck your stomach in until you turn blue. Just pull your belly button slightly toward your spine to support your lower back. This slight core engagement is your secret weapon. It stabilizes your pelvis, takes the pressure off your lower back, and gives your legs the freedom to move independently without dragging your whole torso along for the ride. Now that we are standing tall and proud, let us talk about the golden rule of high heel walking. It is called heel to toe. When beginners put on heels, they often try to put their whole foot down at once, or worse, they tiptoe around on the balls of their feet because they are afraid to trust the skinny little heel at the back. Listen to me. Trust the heel. You want to place your heel on the ground first, smoothly followed by the ball of your foot and your toes. Heel toe. Heel toe. You should feel like a soft, rolling motion. Putting the heel down first anchors you, and rolling through to the toe propels you forward naturally. It might feel terrifying the first few times you drop your weight onto that tiny point, but modern shoes are engineered to hold you. Give them your weight heel first. Once you have the heel-to-toe rhythm down, we have to address the main culprit of the penguin walk, which is those locked knees. To fix this, you have to consciously give yourself permission to bend your legs. As you step forward, let your leading knee bend naturally, just like it does when you are walking barefoot. But here is the trick that changes everything. As your weight shifts onto that front foot, do not immediately straighten the leg to a harsh lock. Keep a micro-bend in the knee. It should feel relaxed, fluid, and slightly bouncy. Think of your knees as shock absorbers. When they are soft and slightly bent, they absorb the impact of the floor, keeping your upper body perfectly still and gliding. If your knees are locked straight, every single impact from the floor travels straight up your leg and jerks your hips and shoulders around. Soft knees equal a smooth glide. Let us adjust your stride length too. Wearing heels naturally restricts the range of motion in your ankles, which means you simply cannot take the same massive, sweeping steps you take in your favorite Doc Martens. If you try to overstride in heels, your front foot lands too far ahead of your center of gravity, forcing your knee to lock straight to reach the floor. That is instantly going to trigger the penguin walk. Instead, take smaller, more deliberate steps. Baby steps, honestly. Slow your pace down. There is absolutely no rush. Think about it. When you are wearing a phenomenal pair of heels, you want people to look at you. Walking slowly and deliberately does not just keep you balanced. It actually makes you look incredibly confident, powerful, and mysterious. You are not rushing to catch a bus, you are arriving. Let them wait for you. Now, if you want to take your walk from just functional to absolutely mesmerizing, we have to talk about foot placement. When we walk normally, our feet naturally walk on two parallel tracks side by side. But to get that gorgeous, hip-swaying catwalk glide, you want to imagine a single straight line drawn on the floor right in front of you. As you walk, aim to place one foot directly in front of the other on that imaginary tightrope. Right foot on the line, left foot directly in front of it. When you cross your feet slightly toward the center line, your hips naturally have to sway slightly to the side to allow your legs to pass each other. You do not need to force the hip movement at all. Just walk on the line, keep your core engaged, and let your hips do what they naturally need to do to balance. It creates this beautiful, fluid, effortless curve to your body that looks instantly graceful. Of course, all the technique in the world will not help you if your shoes are actively working against you. If you are brand new to heels, please be gentle with yourself. You do not need to start your journey in a 6-inch patent leather stiletto with no ankle support. That is setting yourself up for frustration and blistered toes. Start with a chunky block heel or a cute bootie. Block heels give you a much wider surface area to balance on while your ankles build up the micromuscles needed for stability. Shoes with ankle straps are also an absolute blessing for beginners because they secure the sole of the shoe to your foot, meaning you do not have to unconsciously claw your toes to keep the shoe from flying off. Once you master the heel-to-toe roll and the soft knees in a 3-inch block heel, graduating to a stiletto will feel like a natural, exciting next step rather than a terrifying leap. Another quick practical tip from personal experience. Scuff the bottoms of your new shoes. Seriously, if you turn over a brand new pair of heels, the soles are usually perfectly smooth and slick. Walking on carpet or hardwood floors with smooth soles is basically asking to slide out of control. Take them outside and rub the soles against the concrete sidewalk for a few seconds, or take a little bit of coarse sandpaper to the bottom just to create some grip and traction. Feeling secure against the floor does wonders for your mental confidence, which instantly relaxes your walk. At the end of the day, walking in heels is so much more than just a physical skill. For our community, it is often a deeply emotional experience. It is about claiming space. It is about stepping into a version of yourself that feels authentic, glamorous, and unapologetic. When you lock your knees and pitch forward, you are physically shrinking and bracing for impact. But when you roll your shoulders back, engage your core, soften your knees, and take smooth, deliberate steps, you are telling the world that you deserve to be seen exactly as you are. So put on some music in your living room, practice that single line strut, and laugh at yourself when you wobble. It is all part of the journey. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. If this video helped you unlock your inner runway model, or if you have your own hilarious first-time heel stories, please drop a comment down below. I absolutely love reading about your experiences. Do not forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a new video from My Life, My Rules. We are building such a beautiful, supportive family here, and I am so grateful you are a part of it. Until next time, keep walking tall, stay fierce, and always live life by your own rules. Bye everyone.